Hello and welcome to another episode of your weekly comic reviews. I'm your host, the Canadian Comic Geek. Let's start off with comics you can easily walk into. Most of them, I guess. There are some are just really good stories. I just wanted to mention that yeah, you can easily walk into them and have an actual clue what's going on. It's just some of these are really good. Okay, first off the bat, All New X-Men issue 18. And as you can see here, you think, well, something must have happened, like people might have been died, and Kitty Pryde is sad about that. No, actually, during September and October, there was a huge, there was like this crossover with most of the X-Men titles called Battle of the Atom. In case you have not been reading X-Men comics, basically, X-Men from the future went to the present to make sure the X-Men of the past go back to the past. Yeah, that sounds like a strange and convoluted storyline, but hey, it was a fun read, and and I suggest you all to read that. And anywho, this is after Battle of the Atom, where basically, well, the bad guys have been defeated. The good future, the X-Men from the future went home. The X-Men from the past can't go back home. I guess because of Age of Ultron. I guess. Damn it, Wolverine! You screwed up for everyone. You screw everyone over. And apparently, no one ever bothered to ask what the original X-Men wanted to do, which their teacher, Kitty Pryde, was very she did not like how things were going on Wolverine's X-Men. So she decided to defect to Cyclops' X-Men, and the original X-Men, out of loyalty, went with her. So hooray! The original X-Men are back together because Angel left the team and joins joined Cyclops' group. I'm just gonna call him Summers. It's just because now we have two Cyclopses, and I'm just gonna call the older one Summers, just make sure it makes sense to anyone who's listening. Here we get to find out, just learning what it's like, just getting settled in with Summers' X-Men, which is now at the old Weapon X facility. And all in all, it seems like an interesting story, for a beginning part, because it's going to lead to another crossover with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which sounds amazing, by the way. Also, hey, now we've seen Wolverine. We've seen one side of the X-Men team. We're gonna see another side of it, and I think that's actually a good choice. It's a little weird because so far they believe Cyclops was the villain. Sorry, Summers was the villain in this. So now we're gonna see how he runs things. I think it's pretty cool. Also, they get new outfits. I guess they figured because they got sick. I guess because all the other X-Men characters were getting sick and tired of them wearing their classic blue and gold uniforms. So now they're wearing their new uniforms actually do look amazing. Just buying just the new costumes alone makes you want to buy the issue. Although now I have this joke because their new costumes are color oriented, so it's kind of like a Power Rangers thing going on for them. Like Cyclops is blue, Angel's red, Jean Grey is green, and whatnot. So I have that stuck in my head. Of course, if you're a Super Sentai fan, the joke would be this: it's Mutant Sentai X-Mengers! Which sounds really stupid now that I said it out loud. So, yeah, sorry about that. So, yeah, if you want to see, a post-Battle of the Atom story, this is a good start to start reading. If you're also a fan of seeing the original X-Men as teenagers, just learning from, this, which I think is going to screw the future over. Or at least make an alternate universe. Take your pick. Alright, next we have Astro City issue 6. And just from looking at this, because this is Alex Ross's handiwork for the cover. The cover looks amazing. I cannot stress this enough. Like just seeing this fight right here is eye-catching. Of course now, like when you read the book, the art for the cover and the art on the pages aren't the same, but that's okay because it's the same guys who did it back in the '90s. And I think it's pretty cool because they're still working on this. So we're seeing. So basically here, like every Astro City story, doesn't focus on a hero. We will one day, and I assure you. Here we focus on a mobster. Yeah, that's actually really different than what I would expect. You know, like, oh, someone who works in a store that always gets destroyed, or maybe like a psychic, or someone who's technical support of a superhero team. You know, something like that. A mobster is actually like a cool idea. Like, what's the villain side? Like, what's the an ordinary crook's perspective in a world full of superheroes, aliens, and monsters? And yeah, it's not bad. Actually, sounds like we could make a good story on its own. Sadly, it's like a one-shot story because hey, it's Astro City, but you never know. They might come back to it. Of course, the only downside is like okay, since the beginning of the first issue, Astro City has a subplot to it where it has this character called the Broken Man who's trying to stop some oncoming threat without without anyone knowing, because apparently the threat is all knowing, so he has to do it in secret. That's actually a good subplot. Here's another, but also from the first issue, there was an alien who's called the Ambassador, because I guess his name's Forgetful, I guess. And I guess there's like a subplot, like he might be hiding, like he's not all truthful. Like he seems like this naive alien who wants to learn more about Earth, but at the same time, after reading the comic, it seems he might have an ulterior motive or something. Like the mobster actually picked on like something's not right after having the last conversation with the guy. So that's actually interesting, another interesting subplot. Although personally, I think to stick to one subplot for now, having too many kind of ruins the whole thing. I get, in my opinion, like if you have more than one, it's gotta sound like a very bad. It's gotta sound like a very bad series. Of course, this is Astro City, so let's hope it doesn't come to that. Next up. And I've already reviewed like the last issue of this. I just want to review this because you can still walk into this, and it's exciting. It's issue 25 of Batman. Unfortunately, from the camera angle, I'm assuming you cannot. All you see is probably just a black cover. Of course, if you actually can find the issue at stores, you can make out, it looks like the very first, 0-year issue, except it's all in black. Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird when you think about it. Anyway, it kind of starts off where last left off, where basically the Riddler left all of Gotham City in a blackout, and there are warnings that a hurricane, called Hurricane Rainy, is coming, which would end up becoming a super hurricane, as from the tie-ins that came before, which is weird. Tie-in should come after this issue of came. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Anyway, it's actually interesting. You get to see what the new DC's New 52 very first Batmobile looks like, which is cool because it can fly. I'm all for a Batmobile that has all sorts of nifty gadgets, but it's a weird Batmobile. Like, for one, it's not black. Yeah, it has a tiny, it doesn't really scream Batmobile. Like, yeah, it has a tiny little golden bat as the headpiece of the car. Yeah, gold. It's basically like a hot blue race car. And that just seems weird to me. Like, this totally does not scream Batmobile. You can only tell it's the Batmobile because the one tiny bat piece on it, which is very easy to miss. Very easy. All in all, it looks like a cool car. I wouldn't call it the Batmobile. Well, I guess because Batman gets started, I get as Batman, so I guess I can give him a pass on that. Also, for Batman fans, you're gonna be if you haven't been reading Zero Year, pick up this issue because it introduces a classic Batman villain known only as Doctor Death. And Doctor Death was one of the very few first Batman villains back when Batman got started. Instead of just being some mad scientist or wearing a gas mask or like this creepy little guy, here he's very frightening to look at. One, he like during the blackout, Batman has to figure out because he's going around murdering like he's murdering people, but the way he's murdering people is strange. Like, he has a formula that basically has rapid bone growth, which ends up looking like looking like these demonic trees. It's creepy as hell. So maybe older Batman audiences would have a fine time reading this. I would not buy this for kids because I don't want to scare the bejeebers out of them. Maybe on Halloween, but never any other time. Also, I like how, most frightening thing about, you get to see Dr. Death's face, and apparently he's been drinking the formula. He's growing monstrous, which looks freaking awesome, by the way. But he looks really frightening, and, all these teeth are, how does he talk? How does he eat food? And his eyes are bulging out, comically like a bad movie. But seeing as this is not a bad movie, holy crap, he's frightening. But I actually do enjoy this. Also, there's a small story afterwards on Harper. I think her name was Harper. Anyway, the one character that got introduced in the new Batman series that not a lot of people are liking. I'm gonna have to agree she's, okay, I like the idea for new characters and trying to make them more interesting, but she does come a little Mary Sue. Just a little. No matter what Batman says, you just keep on coming. No matter what happens, apparently is a know-it-all technology. Which is not a bad character. I guess most people just find her annoying. I don't find her that annoying. I just think, these are, okay, it's okay. It's not the best. Although this one is actually not bad for a story because it leads into two to 0 year tie-ins. Which, so far, the tie-ins I've been reading are amazing. Action Comics, Detective Comics, Batwing, they are amazing reads. So, the next few issues are coming weeks to come. I hope they're just as good. Alright, next up, besides the blackout in Gotham, we're going to move on to the Ultimate Marvel Universe and see how they're doing in Cataclysm. Well, actually, we're going to see what one side here is doing, called the Cataclysm Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, Issue 1 of 3. Now, I know this is supposed to be an Issue 1. It literally just feels like just another issue to the Ultimate Comics Spider-Man series if it didn't get canceled. The old series is over, it's done with, and now they're moving on to just Cataclysm, which I really hope they keep making Ultimate Marvel comics because I grew up on Ultimate Marvel. Ultimate Marvel was my jam, and I'm gonna be sad when it's all over. It's if they cancel Doctor Who and never bring it back again. It's one of those things you just please keep making it continue. Even if the story starts sucking a bit more, I would still buy it. Anyway, I'm just rambling on now. And here, it kind of picks up where Ultimate Comics All New Spider-Man left off, where they took care of Roxanne. Spider-Man Miles Morales is actually having a great time being Spider-Man. Everyone's congratulating him now that he's back in action and whatnot. I actually approve of this. The kid deserved a break. Also, I love the fact that like all the Ultimates have no idea Spider Woman was a clone of Peter Parker. I just love like even the heroes have absolutely no information. Like even though even they don't have the clearance on certain secrets of Shield. Of course, their Triskelion. Of course, their Helicarrier just looks like a Triskelion just hovering. I don't know how that came about. Yeah, I guess we'll find out later. Like I love how all the new characters like Bombshell and Cloak and Dagger. I love how they're coping with all the new changes. Like Bombshell wants to be a hero instead of a villain because being a hero is much better, and and gives her happiness. And Cloak and Dagger are basically still settling now that they have powers and they're all alone. I love how there's like a new team in the works, and I really hope they continue it because I like Miles Morales. I like all the new characters. I love the new character Bombshell. I love the ultimate version of Cloak and Dagger. Make keep the make the magic continue. I swear to God. It's again it's because it's a tie into Galactus. You don't really see Galactus to the very end, so it's a good transition between the Miles Morales Spider-Man series to this mini series. So if you're a fan of Miles Morales, this is a most definite must-read. Or if you're just loving Cataclysm. Either way, the tie-ins are actually working with the series, and it doesn't feel like off or anything like that. Alright, last but not least, and this one you can pick it up as a standalone issue, although I do recommend reading the others to this mini-series. Sorry. Like the mini-series here. Because this has been going on for almost a year. Heck, the final issue comes out just in a few days. And I am excited for it. Like, the issue I'm talking about is issue 11, and you're gonna laugh after this. Issue 11 of Doctor Who, Prisoners of Time. And yes, on the cover is the 11th Doctor Matt Smith. You can cue your horrible 11th jokes here. Anyway, from this series, like each issue, I'm gonna like to spoil a bit of the series. Each issue is a standalone of each version of the Doctor. Like he has a bit of adventures, so there's a bit of a subplot going on. Like there's someone working behind the scenes, while at the same time someone's either are knocking out the Doctor and kidnapping his companions, and each one actually knows something was wrong, or they remembered something like this was happening. And basically, so far, yeah, no, like these are all standalone issues. Each one had a different artist. I actually was enjoying each and every issue. Like if you just read them all in a night, you would like overloading with Doctor Who. But still, the series was a fun read. Here is actually much different. Instead of just the Doctor and a companion doing Doctor Who, doing like a random adventure, and then the bad guy coming in being villainous. No, we actually get to the very end, where the bad guy literally like takes Clara Oswald, yeah, that's the current companion, and knocks out the 11th Doctor. And basically, he decides to investigate. So we actually see the Doctor actually doing something about what the bad guy is doing. I'm not giving, in case you're noticing, I'm not giving away the bad guy's name. Because if you've been watching the Doctor Who series from 2005, it works for the new fans who've been watching since the 9th Doctor, and also it's a tip off to the classic Doctor Who fans as well. So I'm not going to reveal the bad guy's name. I will reveal that he does team up with several classic Doctor Who villains. Like he teams up with the Master, not the Master from the new Doctor Who series. I mean like the personal fan, like the one who played the Master the longest in the classic Doctor Who series. And I actually like this. Like the art, the art, like I know sometimes the art, like well, that's not how it makes the characters look ugly and whatnot. Most of it here, it's like it does like wow, that actually looks like the Master. That actually looks like Matt Smith. I'm impressed. So basically he investigates the whole like what's going on. So we see him actually going to all the places that the previous Doctors have been to, and he actually finds out where the bad guy is and what and what is his next evil plan, which actually sounds kind of dull when you think about it now. But yeah, it's corny. It's it's corny. It's corny to the whole. It's a hostage situation thing. What I guess that's probably where you go when you're kidnapping like every companion the Doctor's ever had. So yeah, and sometimes the art's confusing because I swear I spotted 2 Rorys, which actually wouldn't be such a bad thing. It's that whatever. First, I'm just liking it has because it's actually I hope it leads up to something really good and has a good ending to this because I actually like how 11th Doctor's interacting with with the classic the Master, Master from the classic Doctor Who series. I like how they're all interacting and how the villain literally has legit beef with the Doctor. So if you missed out on most of the issues, no worries. If you can find issue 9 and 10, if you find at least issue 9, at least you can get a better picture of what's going on. But I have to say, this is still a pretty damn good issue, even if you're coming in late to the party. So yeah, for Doctor Who fans, find Prisoners of Time. It's not a bad read. It's a really good tip. It's actually a really good send-off for the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. That's been all the comics for now. I will see you all in the next video, and enjoy Doctor Who when it comes out this weekend or Monday if the tickets already were sold out and you were too busy to pick it up a month in advance. Adios, comic readers. Adios.